Peace, love, infinite waters featured on The Social Generation, diving deep once again for the first time on The Social Generation, actually.
We're here. It's good to be with you, Shogo.
Good to be with you too, Rolf.
We're here in Venice Beach. We're talking about it's not where you're at, it's where you're at.
That's right. And you said that earlier, and I thought we were talking about traveling, and you do a lot of traveling now, and I do, and this year I've been mostly in California. But you said it's not where it's not where you're at, it's where you're at. I thought that was the funniest thing. I thought that was it's brilliant, beautiful insight. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, a lot of us, when we're traveling, we think that when we go, it's going to change us magically. Yeah. But if you're not feeling content within yourself, if you don't have balance within yourself, you can be, for instance, in Venice, but still feel like you're in hell. So you have to carry yourself wherever you go in such a beautiful way that it doesn't matter if you're stuck in an elevator, you're still going to feel great.
And with whoever else you're with. So it's, I think a lot of times we have the tendency, if we're having issues with, or we're living with our roommates or whatever, you think all our problems are going to be solved by the time we get a new roommate, or we move out into our own place, or we move out of our parents' place. Now that helps, and a lot of times that our environment has to do with how we feel. But we still have to carry ourselves with ourselves wherever we go, including with other people, and other people pick up on it.
And a lot of times we think, okay, if we're with someone, they're going to change us. And it's not where you're at, it's where you're at. You have to realize that even if you are with someone, it doesn't stop there. Yeah. You got to work on yourself. You got to bring your energy to it 100%.
Well, and a lot of, now that you said that, so often, I mean, I've done this for sure. I've been so guilty of this.
Right.
That, I thought that, all right, bringing somebody into my life, getting a new relationship is going to be the solution to all my problems, or getting the girl's phone number, or whatever, having a healthy, active dating life, having a healthy social life was going to be the answer to my problems. But it actually never was, ever, not a single time. The answer to my problems was looking at myself, regardless of whether or not there's somebody else around.
You always have to. I always say the greatest relationship you can have is with yourself. And that's why when you start to look within yourself, a lot of people don't want to do it. Yeah. It's terrifying because you never know what you're going to find. Some people say, I haven't cleaned my room for 2 weeks. Imagine what happens when you take a look within inside of your mind, because we're always running away. And when you start to go where it's at, inside of yourself, now you get more balance. You can become your greatest version.
I can't tell you how many times when I run through coaching, I start off, the baseline issue is, okay, what does your social life look like? What does your dating life look like? How is your ability to connect and communicate with the opposite sex, or with anybody, even in your social life? But what comes out after a while is that, oh, wait a minute. Now, actually, I'm not getting enough sleep. Oh, actually, I actually have some problems around money in the way that I see my relationship with money. Oh, no, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Now, there's all these other things behind the scenes. We think the problems, the immediate problems that manifest themselves, that is to say, the problems that have to do with our instincts or desires in the moment, those are the problems we think we have. But actually, what's creating those issues, it's creating the areas where we're stuck in life so many times, is the foundation way behind that. Something as simple as sleep. Something as simple as having enough money to survive.
Right. Because all of our problems emanate from separation we have towards ourselves, and when you're separate from yourself, you get so many problems down the road. Like you said, it could be sleep, it could be you're not eating enough. So a lot of the times you're not eating right, you're not eating healthy food. So you have to really get yourself right first.
Especially, and you know this, if you want a healthy partner, you all go out and say, okay, well, there's two different ways of looking at a healthy partner. One is, like we actually talked about this earlier, you look at her and she's cute, or you look at him and he's a handsome, good-looking guy. Well, that's their genetic code. That's their makeup. That's the way they look genetically. But there's another form of health behind it, and that's their lifestyle, who they are as a person. We want to match up with both of those. We want both of that. But hold on a second, are we actually ready to meet that person there?
Right. I say, to have it all, you have to be it all. And so many times in relationships, we're expecting a 10, but we're a 5. We're expecting a 9, but we're a 4. So you have to be in alignment with that which we want to attract. We don't attract what we want. We attract how we feel. So many times in relationships, people don't feel good about themselves, so they don't end up getting that person they desire. But more so, it's all about, is it in resonance to your core frequency?
What do you mean by that? Is it resonance with your core frequency?
Many times you have to, I always tell people that if you see, for instance, a woman and you say, okay, I want her, but you have to ask yourself, is it in resonance with your core frequency? For example, you've got musical notes. C resonates with C. It's in total harmony. If you don't have harmony, you've got incompatibility, and that's what happens a lot of the times in relationships, because something inside of you, it's like a magnet. It's going to connect with someone else.
Yeah.
What we call true resonance, true fusion, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. And that's why in a relationship, it's not where it's at, where you're at, it's where you're at. It's just where you are and where she is, and now you have this wonderful relationship. You see, and that's the biggest thing.
Especially for women. I mean, for men too, but especially for women, I think that's a huge insight for chicks, because you go on a date with a guy and it's like, oh, he didn't call me back. Why didn't he call me back? I mean, I'm good looking, I dressed up, he liked me, thought I was sexually attractive, but there's something else going on there. It's more than just that. Or if it's a guy and she didn't text him back or whatever, right? Well, it's more than just being charming. It's more than just having things in common with each other. It's more than just, oh, we have compatible lifestyles, our goals are similar, whatever. It's an energy level thing, and sometimes you just can't do anything about that. You can't, I think I said this earlier, you can't play chess with someone who doesn't want to play chess. If they're playing checkers and you're trying to play chess, you can't force them into playing chess.
Right. I say there's nothing you can do or say that's going to bring someone closer to you. Yeah. And that comes in terms of relationships. People think, okay, the more money I have, I can get someone to come closer to me. But you can't do that. Just like with this whole theme of it's not where you're at, it's where you're at. People always think that, okay, because I'm at this destination, I should be happy. But if you haven't taken time to cultivate the happiness, you could go to the Caribbean but still feel miserable.
All sorts of things, and it's not just your destination. It's how much money you have in your bank account. Once I have that $50,000 buffer zone, I'll be happy. Once I'm dating 3 girls at a time, a lot of times guys aren't dating anybody at all. They want to date 3 girls at a time.
Right.
And then once they actually get there, it's like, oh wait, I don't want this at all. Once I have that beautiful, amazing, compatible girlfriend, everything will be perfect. Well, that doesn't really happen, because it's a completely different question that's left unanswered.
Times we're always trying to overdo it. When it comes to relationships, we're trying to put on the perfect clothes. When it comes to just in general friends, we're trying to try so hard, and simplicity is the best way to realize that, okay, if you're peaceful here, it doesn't matter where you are, you can become comfortable. But if you're not, it doesn't matter. You can be in a room full of people, you still feel isolated because you're trying to try too hard.
That's something I've learned from traveling too, and you said this earlier. When you're traveling to different places, you have to learn how to strip things down.
Yeah.
You can't, I know you're staying on Venice Beach for a while, so you're going to create a little lifestyle for yourself, a little microcosm, places that you like to go to. You may have bought stuff for the room that you're staying in and all that stuff, but when you're out of here, you have to let all that go. Right. All the connections you've made with people, you may meet them again, but for now, for the time being, you have to let that go and start everything again. So it really focuses you to see the things that you absolutely need, and it allows you to kind of whittle it down to the necessary, to the simplistic.
Right. And as well, I came from the UK, so I've already let something go, and I'm here, and I'll let this go. That's how life is. Inevitably, everyone has to let everything go. Nobody can be in the same place. So you have to learn how to travel with yourself.
Not only do you have to let things go, whether we want to, whether we want to or not, it's gonna happen. It's going right.
All of us, the biggest problem on the planet is one of identity. And I say the greatest way to stop overthinking is to let go of who you think you are. And once you can do that, you have no worries. Wherever you go, you're okay. But if you're constantly reminding yourself this identity society has given you, it's very difficult to feel comfortable with the more you travel around.
I'll tell you about that question. It's a rabbit hole, because you will never find the ultimate answer to that. The more and more you ask yourself what your identity is, who you are, it's never going to end. It keeps going and going and going and going and going. And that's where the social anxiety, I believe, that's where the core of a lot of the social anxiety that we feel, a lot of the sense of separation between self and other comes from. It's that we're trying to build an identity, but in one moment, but tomorrow we may be something completely different, maybe thinking about completely different things. So that once we've constructed anything at all, from one moment to the next, it's gone. And then again, we feel that sense of anxiety, that sense of separation. So I think it's beautiful to realize that ceasing from asking yourself that question brings to you an enormous amount of peace.
The secret of the universe is synthesis. It's wholeness. It's completion. That's the only truth. So whenever you separate things, what happens? You feel awkward. You feel anxiety because you're deviating from the truth of the actual how things work in the universe.
You know, we think we're this puzzle piece. We think we're this puzzle piece in a bit. In a way, we are. We are a puzzle piece in a bigger puzzle. But we forget the fact that we're still a puzzle piece. We're not separate from the universe. We are the universe. We are it. We are the fingerprint of what's happening.
Right.
You know, we're essential to the rotation, to the movement of everything that's happening right now. You and I standing right here in our environment with all these other people here. Everybody else walking around us is necessary. The context of everybody else walking around us is necessary for us to be having this conversation right now. The viewer watching this right now is necessary for us to even have this conversation. Otherwise, we would have no audience.
That's right. We all need each other.
Yeah.
You see, and that's why just realizing, I say the greatest relationship you can have is with yourself, because once you know that, then it's a lot easier to accept other people. The biggest reason why people judge people and don't accept people is because they have no relationship to themselves. You see, they're separate from themselves, so you're separate from everyone else. And you're more judgmental. Once you have that wholeness within yourself, it's very easy to see things complete.
Absolutely. That's why I always say, and I think the undercurrent of what I try to make the undercurrent of much of what I say is to, even though our curiosity is going to take us to other places, even though what we want is always going to be external to us. Our desires are always external to us, so we're going to try to get it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Go after what you desire, but never forget that this is the most important thing.
That's the biggest thing, because in fact that governs how you're going to interact with women.
Yeah. Or anything.
It governs how you're going to interact with, how you see money, how you make friendships. Some people say, okay, I'm not worthy to connect with this person because how they see themselves. Once I say, if you have the identity of who you are, you have the limitation of who you are.
Think about the Ralph 10 years ago who would have come to Venice Beach, right? And the Ralph who's at Venice Beach now, what kind of a relationship has he created with Venice Beach itself, right?
Right. It's totally different because I'm more open to it, because I'm more open to myself. When I didn't like myself, I wouldn't have been able to see the beauty of Venice Beach. Then you have to ask yourself, is it Venice Beach or is it me? Is it Venice Beach or is it you? You know? That's the secret. You know?
That's another video for another time, but that is the secret, right? Check out Ralph's channel for sure. You're gonna love his stuff. If you liked our conversation here, you're gonna love some of the stuff he's got to share on his channel.
Thank you.
Awesome hanging with you, man.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
People that love themselves, we see them all the time in the world. And they're smiling. They're letting go of fear. Letting go. And they are soaring to phenomenal heights.